Hi, Caleb with Brownells here, and in today's product spotlight, we're going to be taking a look at the AR Takedown Tool. That's just straight up the name of it. They call it exactly what it does. So, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I like tools that are descriptive in that way, I guess. I mean, just tell me what you do. Yeah. So that's what we're dealing with here. And let's talk about the primary tool. This is the main tool. You can get this one just by itself. And it's basically a punch slash multi AR tool set type setup. But you don't need a hammer. It has a built-in hammer via this. So if you look on the outside here, this is indeed a spring. It's fully heat treated, black oxide, super durable. Let's just get that coating bit out the way there. But no, so rather than trying to kind of explain to you how it works, I'm not really much of a rocket surgeon, so I'll just show you how it works. So basically, I'll do it on the table here just kind of so you guys can get a good view here. So it is a punch. Like I said, you don't need a hammer. So if I were to set this down here, you basically just pull it back and it acts as the hammer. Pull it back and let it go. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my initial reaction of this tool when I first saw it at the show, I kind of destroyed the table there, whatever. My initial reaction of the tool wasn't positive, I'll say. Don't, AR Takedown Tool guys, please don't hate me. I love you guys, okay? So my initial reaction wasn't the greatest. I looked at it, I was like, meh, this isn't gonna replace anything on my workbench. It's not supposed to. This is a range bag type tool set. And I am that guy that does carry a hammer and punches to the range, because I'm a gunsmith. Something breaks, people look at me and say, hey, fix it. And I'm expected to know that stuff, so here we go. But with this thing here, I don't need to carry any of that. You can actually just carry this. I can keep this on like the GP pouch on my belt or plate carrier or whatever, and I have a tool that'll do pretty much anything I need to do to my AR-15 in the field. So with that being said, I'm gonna show you some of the uses of it here. And actually, before I get into the specifics on the gun, I was kind of playing with this thing and I was like, all right, these tools, they can't be hitting that hard, right? I mean, how long is it gonna take me to drive a pin in? Like, what's the deal here? And this is the main tool. If you get the full set, it comes with 4 additional tools plus the main primary tool. I say additional tools because, like I said, this is the one that has the most function, and this is the one you would buy by itself if you didn't want all the other ones. Now, I was playing with this thing. I think I had this one out here, yeah. So this one, standard steel punch on one side, and a roll pin starter punch on the other side, this is the perfect size for your trigger guard roll pin, by the way. Anyways, y'all are getting me sidetracked. Let me keep going. So I was thinking about the hardest pin to remove on the AR-15, and that is the front sight gas block pins themselves. So as you can see, the rear one's missing because I was playing with this tool and I knocked it out. So I was like, I can hopefully repeat that on camera. I don't know, we're about to find out. But yeah, so these taper pins are probably the hardest pin to remove on AR-15. This is where people break punches and damage stuff and just cuss and yell. And don't cuss and yell, just use one of these tools here. So let me get this guy out the way here. I'll come back for you in a minute. All right. So all I'm gonna do, on the rear one, all I did was put it on there and hammer it out. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the front one. Hopefully I can repeat those results on camera. So all I did was set it on here, pull it up, let it go. I can actually feel it moving here. Yeah, there it went. Give it one more. And yeah, now it's flush with the surface. I can just take a smaller one that matches the diameter here. Yeah, so the hardest pin to remove on an AR-15 by far. And I was just able to remove both of them without a hammer, which just kind of blew my mind. And that's when my opinion of this thing really changed. So, okay, the hammer aspect obviously works. It has some other cool tools built into it here, which I'll just go ahead and show you. And I wouldn't be risking the finish on my main AR-15 here. I was trying to think of some other like pet words, but it was going to get weird. I wouldn't be risking the finish on my gun if I didn't think this thing actually worked. So I'm just going to go ahead, separate my upper from my lower. Oh, and so these pins here, it'll help you take out these pins. I'm going to push them back in. Obviously, mine are done correctly, so they're easy to push in and out, but they're still like rock solid. But if you just like rattle canned your gun because you were trying to impress the dudes on the Facebook, whatever rattle can group there is, I don't know. I would say trying to impress the ladies, but I don't think there's any ladies. You're just trying to impress other dudes. And if you're a lady, I mean, that's a way to, you know what, we're getting off track here. So again, all you got to do, you can either just use the punch to, I'm going to be rough on my optic here, but it's a MPO, so it's good. You can take it to use it to just push, or like I said, if you just rattle canned it to death and your gun now hates you, you can just, I'm not going to do it too hard here. Yeah. Use the built-in hammer feature to knock it right out. All right, so anywho, let us continue. Pull that guy out. Set the upper aside. Yeah, you can use it on the upper as well. There is whatever, English. So you have a roll pin punch here. You can use that to install and remove your gas block roll pin, or maybe it's this size. Yeah, both, either one. And then this one here, you can also do your bolt catch roll pin. This is a roll pin a lot of people mess up on, but you can use this. It's slim enough. Obviously, you would want to do this part in a vise, but it's slim enough that you can use this to take it out. And it has a roll pin holder, so you can use this to set it, to install it without damaging the finish on your gun. I'm not going to show you that feature because I would, but mine has a screw instead of a roll pin, so I'm not going to try and drive a screw out, guys. All right. As we were. Now, another cool feature, and this is in the main tool, so I'll just kind of set all the extras aside here and we'll just talk about the main one again. So if you notice, one end of this, and both ends of this punch are actually tapered, so that if you are misaligned on any of the holes, instead of taking a chunk out of your gun, it'll just kind of self-align into there. So that's a good feature as well. These dudes obviously work on their own guns with their tools, so that's really good to see. Now, I can unscrew either side of this. The heads are replaceable, so if you damage them for whatever reason. Now, if you notice, this one has a smaller pin on it. Now, that smaller pin is going to be used in conjunction with this larger one here. As you can see, we have the hole, and that fits right in there. So this is a front pivot pin, or pivot pin installation tool. Words are hard today, guys. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this one just so I can reinstall it here. So removal, I mean, it fits right in there. Press that detent. We'll rotate here. I will catch this and not shoot it across the room. There we go. All right, perfect. Now, let me get that spring out of there. So let's say you needed to install a pivot pin. Hopefully you wouldn't have to do this on the range, but I've had to do weirder things on the range, so it's good to have. We'll just insert the tool here. And I'm gonna purposely not use a vise to show you that it can be done this way. We'll insert our spring, insert our detent, we will depress them. Let me see if I can get you guys a view here. We'll depress them just like so, and then rotate the tool. So now the spring and detent are captured. Then we'll take the actual pivot pin here, and forgive me if you can't see this here. Then we will push them in. And that's it. We just installed the pivot pin and didn't lose any parts. All right, so that there's another feature. Obviously, you can use this on other parts of the gun here. I'll put this up. Trigger pins, trigger and hammer pin. This works really good on hammer pins. Just do one of these numbers right here. And you can drive it out. I'm not going to drive this one all the way out because I don't want to have to reinstall my hammer and trigger. But you guys obviously see how that works there. Get that hammer lined back up. Anyways, I'll do that when you guys aren't looking, because now I gotta line up the hammer. There we go. Never mind, I got it. Okay. So, if you look at the end of this tool here, you'll notice that there's a divot cut in it, and that is to aid in removing your buffer and spring. So that kind of just fits right over your buffer retainer detent, and that comes right out. So it's not, I'd say a lot of the features of this tool, they're not doing something other tools can't. They're just making it way more convenient for you. And work smarter, not harder. Carry less tools to the range. I'm definitely all about that because I carry way too many tools to the range already. I'm an overpacker. That's what I do with everything. So, yeah. And needless to say, it'll help you out with your mag catch. Like I mentioned before, there are sizes to do the trigger guard. You can do your gas block. You can do your forward assist, because you should have a forward assist on your gun. You know how I feel about that. Don't get me started back on this again. So yeah, that's it, guys. I know I said a lot for such a small tool, but it's one of those things that initially seeing it, I was like, meh. And then once I use it, I was like, okay, yeah. So I'm going to continue to use this tool in the future. No, I'm not getting paid to say that. So yeah, I mean, if you follow me on any of my socials, you'll definitely see some more of this, because I'm going to keep using it. Now, with that being said, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to us. If you need help with any of these tools or any other gun tools in general, feel free to give us a call on the tech line. If you haven't already and you're watching this one on the YouTubes, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.